Ladies and gentlemen, my name is SaulApe and I'm an ape, and this is Mr. Grubby journey on Warcraft 3 Champions. If you don't know, when Mr. Grubby heard that it's going to be a classic cup at BlizzCon, yes, BlizzCon in America in 2026, Mr. Grubby, for memes, for lulz, I think, he decided to practice Warcraft because, yes, there is going to be a Warcraft 3 event at BlizzCon. But maybe about this later. And Mr. Grubby is playing on Warcraft 3 Champions, and now he's playing versus one of the best human players there. His name is Deathnote, he's playing like Odin's Dar, and recently Mr. Deathnote finished third in Warcraft 3 Champions end season tournament, so he's very good. And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Grubby wants to get top 10 Warcraft 3 Champions, if he can, of course. You know, the ranking, and in order to go there, he needs to get at least 2,500 MMR. Now Grubby is missing around 100 MMR. Of course, he used to be 2,500 MMR before his break, so it's definitely possible. But ladies and gentlemen, in order to do so, he needs to start winning versus good opponents, and Deathnote is over 2,500 MMR. MMR is very important about this like level function, and ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Grubby took 2 shots from the Arcane Tower, and yes, let's focus on the game. So Grubby is opening very standard with Farseer Headhunter, and his opponent was like Deathnote is kinda good versus Orc. I would say he feels very confident to creep big camps because he crept amazing, huge camp, the Goblin Laboratory. That's why he has a very big experience advantage. But the problem is that his tech is suffering. As you can see, he's not teching just yet, and Mr. Grubby is teching already. So you pay the price for all of this militia. We are on Concealed Hill, so human is not going to expand. It's almost not possible. And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Grubby is healing his Farseer, very tricky, with the wolves and his headhunters. He's trying to slow down a human movement. And what Deathnote is going to do, in my opinion, he'll creep this spider crab camp. That's what I would do. And then with militia, I would creep this green camp. And then, ladies and gentlemen, he will unlock level 3, and you know what you do with level 3. Oh yes, you know, ladies and gentlemen, you hit the Orc base. And ladies and gentlemen, Focus Pocus, who is one of the most professional Orc players, I mean, you know, he's one of the best, maybe, Orc players on the planet Earth. Usually in this situation, he makes a tower, but Grubby feels it as well. Grubby, of course, is like a world champion. He played so many years on high-level Warcraft 3. He knows if there is a lot of footies, if the guy is kinda evasion creeping, it means that it's going to be a big aggression on top of my burrows. So Grubby is investing into spiked barricades. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is SaulApe and I'm an ape, and I'm very excited about this game. Human needs to creep a little bit more to unlock level 3. And Grubby! I think Grubby stole the item. Yes, indeed. He stole the item, and he stole level 3 from Deathnote. Mr. Grubby, cool as cucumber. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, but we have defend on the footies. Remember, we are on Concealed Hill. On Concealed Hill, you have fountains of health, and it means that you have a good micro, and you can save your red HP units. You can save them at the fountain. And that's what this poor footman is trying to do, but there is one wolf following him. The last hit fight continues, and Deathnote won the fight, and because of that he unlocked level 3. And with level 3 he has mighty water elementals, but he needs to do more. So far, economy of the Orc is untouched. So far, Mr. Grubby is defending just fine. And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Deathnote still has one footman on fire, and Mr. Grubby has a very, very good micro. He's already queuing. Shadow Hunter! Ooh, it's tier 3. Ladies and gentlemen, Grubby, I don't know, you know, how many replays he's watching, I don't know how many pro games he's watching, and so on. I can tell you one thing. From all of like my knowledge of meta these days, Shadow Hunter should be connected with tier 3. If you want to play tier 2, so you don't go for Fortress, you play Tavern Chieftain, and you try to expand, and you try to creep your Tavern Chieftain to a high level. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's very interesting for me if Grubby is going to follow the same like recipe that professional players are doing, but we have our answer now. Grubby says, no, I'm not going to follow this new generation meta. I don't want this. I want to expand. He sent the peon, but ladies and gentlemen, He's not expanding just yet. He's not taking just yet. He's getting a free footman, but let me tell you one thing. All of the Orc players, they play Tavern Chieftain second for a reason. For a very good reason. Because Tavern Chieftain second is just stronger than Shadow Hunter. Especially on level 3. I'm not saying that it's bad, but... I mean, Mr. Grubby is proving that Shadow Hunter can work, but I mean, that's the consensus. Grubby forcing a TP. Okay, there is no Chain Lightning, so Mr. Death Note can risk one more Hex. There is enough mana for one more Hex, but man, Archmage with Boots of Speed is fast and furious. Mountain King got surrounded by Grubby, and Mountain King, he called for support. He's like, guys, what is happening here? Okay, this creep camp is enraged, but MK has fallen, and Mr. Grubby used all of his hexes. I like it, and Mr. Grubby with this sneaks around. I love it. Man, Grubby is so good. Okay, I'm going to spill a little bit of tea or whatever you call it, or drama talk in Warcraft 3. So. There is an undead player from China, very well respected undead player called 120/Hero. He's Chinese undead, and he like make a, like, let's say, interview a comment about which race in Warcraft 3 is the weakest, and the like interviewer was like, maybe it's Orc, right? Because Orc didn't win anything recently, and 120 said Orc is okay, but they have only bad players. Orc race is strong, but they have bad players. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to tell you if it's true or not, but definitely you can see, ladies and gentlemen, that Mr. Grubby is a very good player. Surrounding like that, microing like that, maybe he will be the one to prove, ladies and gentlemen, that Orc is a strong race. We'll see about that. Ladies and gentlemen, this time Mr. Death Note is going to say, okay, thank you, Orc Lord, for your help. But yes, my MK died, so we are here to take vengeance. And getting this Orc Lord is very important. Mr. Grubby is scouting this with the power of the crystal ball that he got. Oh yes, is on the Shadow Hunter. And ladies and gentlemen, what is going to happen now? We have Kodo Aura, that's pretty good, but Grubby is already here. And you don't want to fight Creep Camp and Grubby at the same time, I can tell you that. Cuban, it still has militia. Militia uptime is quite low. Grubby knows which units are very fragile. He's jumping on top of the casters as he should. When you have Tavern Chieftain, you can like stop them, shockwave them, but of course you can hex as well. But casters, they can dispel hex at some point. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Grubby is in a little bit of a difficult position here, ladies and gentlemen, because he is going to fight versus militia. Important news. Grubby expansion is going up. The best defense is offense, as they say. So Grubby... can we get Shadow Hunter? Mr. Death Note didn't go for it. He's just going for a Headhunter. That's fine. I was thinking about Bolt Surround on the Shadow Hunter, but it's of course hard to do. This Kodo Beast is in trouble. Mountain King, how is his mana looking? 45. He needs 75 for the Bolt. And Grubby, even though he's expanding, even though he's 2 supply behind, even though he has Shadow Hunter, not Mighty Tavern Chieftain, with all of this micro, with all of these good moves, he's doing a-okay. Ladies and gentlemen, in Mountain King level we trust. And he needs clarities. Oh yes, clarity cocktail and mana potion as well. But ladies and gentlemen, remember one thing. Grubby has expansion, Grubby has better levels, supply doesn't look that bad. Is Death Note going to creep the big red camp, or is he going to go for the potential expansion? You may say, Saul, how Death Note knows? You know, I'm observing this game alone, so maybe he scouted, but at this level you expect this. If it's a tier 2 orc, he needs to expand to stay relevant, to stay efficient. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. Grubby went tier 3 as well. He has exponents tier 3, and Grubby is going for the lames. Grubby is going for the lanes, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Grubby knows, Grubby knows. So, ladies and gentlemen, fortified armor is not great. I mean, it's great versus piercing damage and magic damage, and breakers, they have very low damage. And you know what Mr. Grubby says? I'm a real orc player. I'm not going to teleport back and take a fight. I'm going to force the human back almost immediately, and human will pay the price. But let me tell you one thing. I mean, Grubby is not dealing that much damage. Expansion? Oh, expansion will survive, I think. Oh no, my casting license goes again. Okay. We traded Expo for Expo. It's tier 3 orc versus tier 2 human. Grubby has better levels. The game is more than open, and this game is exciting, especially because we see the Shadow Hunter. Sorry, Shadow Hunter, ladies and gentlemen, for saying bad things, ladies and gentlemen. He didn't trade Expo for Expo. I'm sorry. He traded Expo for some peasants, but as you can see, Death Note has 180 lumber. Death Note is not complaining. And ladies and gentlemen, both players are creeping a little bit. My name is SaulApeMan, I'm an ape. Let's go. Can Grubby beat 2,500 plus MMR player? Can Grubby beat a guy that finished rank 3 in Warcraft 3 Champions Season 22 finals that I had the pleasure to co-cast with Mr. Carson and Mr. Neo, of course, from Back to Warcraft. My name is SaulApeMan. This is Grubby with tier 3, with Berserkers, with Kodo Beast, and this is Death Note with his water elemental is enraged. Grubby doesn't have dispel. Grubby invested into tier 3 and this expansion, so he didn't have enough money for tier 3 and for dispel. And let me tell you, those freaking water elementals, ladies and gentlemen, this is looking quite big. And what is going to happen now? Those water elementals, they are dealing damage. Supply favors Death Note. Wait a moment. This is the math caster's efficiency. This is MK efficiency. There is Shadow Hunter got level 3, but there is no Tavern Chieftain. Shadow Hunter is trying to get a Sorg Lady, but it will take forever. And ladies and gentlemen, you know what it happens when you play a crazy strategies like that, like Shadow Hunter 2nd. You may say, "Saul, is it that crazy?" It's kind of crazy. You know what they say? That you even look like a genius, or it looks like you made a big mistake. And so far, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Grubby, like creativity wave, is like it's not a tsunami. It's just can't reach this bridge this Mountain King. And this invisible Mountain King with boots of speed, he's just chasing headhunters / berserkers, and he wants more. There is a beautiful hex to slow him down, but he has boots of speed, he's fast and furious. He will connect with another bolt. Oh no! Mr. Grubby, it was looking so good. Okay, what is happening? Mr. Grubby is sending dire wolves, but there is one arcane tower, so there is no problem. Supply favors Death Note. He has invisible Mountain King. And ladies and gentlemen, Grubby invested into Tavern. Let me tell you, I've been in this situation a few times recently because I played Dark Ranger first with Orc. And I made this like Taurens, Berserkers, good army, and I still lost to this efficiency. Like basically MK killed my entire army. But ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Grubby will be able to win this. We'll see about that. He has 2 freaking Taurens. That's crazy. Grubby also has Orb of Lightning, so now he has, of course, Dispel versus those water elementals. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, Grubby supply at this first time was looking quite low, because he was accumulating those Taurens. And Taurens with their normal damage are amazing versus medium armor breakers. Ladies and gentlemen, what is going to happen now? We are running in circles a little bit. Remember that Taurens, they have resistant skin now, and slow duration is lower on them. Ladies and gentlemen, Death Note army is looking a little bit lower, ladies and gentlemen. And what is going to happen now? We have a big fight, but Death Note is pulling back. Death Note is pressing the tier 3 button, ladies and gentlemen. He's like, I need Gryphons. And now what Grubby decision is going to be. Grubby, as you can see, his army composition is a little bit better. So either he's going to force the fight, or is he going to expand with Tiny Great Hall. We have invisible, hexed, Sorg Lady, this hex level 2, ladies and gentlemen. It lasts a very long time. Grubby is pulling back. Of course, if human can hide in his base, it can be quite alright. Mr. Death Note, he's pulling back. But man, this hex is working. And remember, I said that you either look like a genius or not a genius, or the opponent. And man, he looks like a genius now. Mr. Grubby. So for a moment, he was like shaky because Saul Noob Caster, man, didn't see Tower and Totem. And Mr. Grubby is pulling back, probably to make tiny great hole, but look at this, there is a Gryphon aviary being constructed, and in 70 seconds we'll see some Gryphon production, and I can't wait for that. Both players are like, okay, let's make peace now, and let's creep a little bit. Ooh, what is going to happen now, ladies and gentlemen? What is going to happen? What is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, we are creeping. Of course, human could be like closer to the fountain. If you have a TP, right, you would enjoy some healing. +2 agility. It's so MK got round bracers. Terrible item. MK will sell it. Mr. Grubby, what's the item there? He got +6 agility. Not great, not terrible. +6 agility for the Shadow Hunter. Always good. More attacks, of course. Okay, we sold round bracers. We have a double heal scroll. Human doesn't want to fight. Why? Because human is awaiting for the Gryphons. Mr. Grubby is scouting everywhere. And guys, you know when the game is very close. If you are reaching like kinda okay, similar situation at 18 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Gryphons. Yes, Saul. Okay, I need to like every day I need to learn 10 Chinese words because I would like to learn basics of Chinese, and 10 English words. I mean the pronunciation, I presume. Mamma mia! But yes, there is no time. It's not that easy. Maybe we'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, Grubby broke the supply earlier. And it means that a human can catch up in supply, and we are going to see most likely inner fire Gryphons, and this is like an ultimate army, ladies and gentlemen. It's an ultimate army. Shadow Hunter is getting all of the experience here, but the same goes with Mountain King. And ladies and gentlemen, what's now?
The player's forces are under attack.
What's now? Ultimate army. Gryphon Raiders. They need upgrades still. Mr. Death Note, he needs a lot of lumber. He needs to have inner fire priests. That's definitely true. Mr. Grubby invested into triple Taurens. To my surprise, there is not tiny great hole. Grubby is going for it now. It means the Death Note will have enough time to construct his push. But again, lumber is his problem. He needs more lumber. Oh yes, baby, priest master training. Let's read the description. Increases priests mana capacity, mana regeneration rate, hit points, and gives them ability to cast inner fire. And that's what exactly we want. Inner fire gives you +5 armor and +10% of damage. And Gryphons, they deal a lot of damage. Grubby has 2 bases now, but there is time, ladies and gentlemen. There is time. I think Mr. Death Note needs to take it slow. He needs to wait for inner fire. And then it's his time to shine. So far, there is no HP upgrades on the Gryphons. To be honest, I don't know where is like a breakpoint. Because the upgrade is called Animal War Training and it's kind of costly. So maybe it's better to make a third Gryphon. Definitely, we don't want to fight before inner fire. Death Note is getting in position. Death Note actually stole a wolf for Grubby. Grubby is close to a magnificent fountain and laser MK good level 5. We are fighting pre-inner fire. That's a little bit problematic. I mentioned inner fire Gryphons, but one of them is already dead. But that's not the problem. MK is on level 5, is in the middle of everything. Shadow Hunter and Farseer, they are providing a lot of value. I don't see inner fire. Maybe you are fighting a little bit too early. But again, you can't say no to Mountain King in this position. Death Note is a little bit, okay, he wants to body block, he wants to get the Farseer. And yes, high level MK is the arch enemy of Farseer. Farseer evaporated. But remember one thing, Shadow Hunter is the real carry here. Gryphon went down. So far, the amount of Gryphons is 0 and amount of inner fire is 0. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe this fight was a little bit too early. Death Note was able to eliminate Farseer, but still, Grubby has expansion. Grubby has bigger army. I think Grubby is winning. Of course, SaulApeMan is well known for a lot of bad predictions. But ladies and gentlemen, That looks good for Grubby, and maybe not having Inner Fire was an issue, and now Shadowhunter can chill with his mana. Because we have a Fountain of Health! Mamma mia. Ay, ay, ay. What human can do? With 500 lumber, human can counter-expand. Definitely that's an option. Parser is slowly coming back via a Tavern revive. And ladies and gentlemen, what is going to happen now? 54 supply for Death Note, that's not big! It's rather small, with all due respect. And yes, we have Inner Fire now, not really. We have only 2 casters, no! We have only 2 casters. What is going to happen now? I think like, oh, this Gryphon just evaporated. What is that? One upgraded. One upgrade. And this is a revenge for all of those clans. There is a revenge on the Mountain King. Level 5 Mountain King. He has Inner Fire, but he's in a big trouble. And Death Note is pulling back. Even though, ladies and gentlemen, he should be the one pushing. The club was nice. But who cares? Shadowhunter with level 6. Mr. Grubby, is he killing the big bad voodoo? Not really, he went for Hex level 3. There is a one bolt can stop big bad voodoo and you want to save your mana. And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Grubby has just too much. His army is grande. Who cares about this spell when you have Orb of Lightning? And ladies and gentlemen, who needs Shadowhunter as well? Death Note is trying to win with only heroes. His MK is going in. His MK is barely alive. Paladin is out of mana, even though we have Brilliance Aura level 2. But ladies and gentlemen, we are casting all of the abilities, but it's not enough. Grubby is going in, and Grubby with this super weird style. Tier 2 expansion with Shadowhunter into Tier 3, into expansion, into like base trade, into Taurens. I was very scared of about Mr. Grubby when I saw him, like losing this like late game, but then I saw 3 towers and then I believed in Grubby again. And now I believe in supply numbers. It's 72 supply for Grubby versus 43 supply for Mr. Death Note, and Club is here, and Mr. Grubby still needs to be quite aware of this situation, but I think at this very point the supply gap is just too big. That there is no even risk of losing a hero. Grubby has smaller invul, small invul, and Grubby is speed scrolling for the victory. He's looking for the hero kill. He went for the Archmage, and Archmage will be forced back to TP out, and I think Death Note is going to GG out quite soon. He sees how big this army is. There is level 5 Archmage. That's pretty nice, but it's super duper low supply. And ladies and gentlemen, if Grubby can win versus 2500 MMR player, Grubby can be 2500 MMR player himself. Can he keep it up? Can he play enough game to get there? Hopefully. And yes, guys, stay tuned. I will inform you. That was amazing. Grubby won versus rank 3 player last season. GG's. And yes, if you like the video, subscribe for more. Bye.